You warm it up with Danny Bryson. Danny, how are you?
Oh, are we on? Are we live?
We're streaming. Yeah, Danny, we're working on the best of 2021 News AF episode. Anything you want to make sure that we include for best of 2021?
Liz liked that Thanksgiving rant about jam and yam.
Danny's Thanksgiving rant.
Yeah, Liz liked that for what it's worth. I don't know if she's a connoisseur of podcast humor.
You know what? Let me make sure that we have. I'll message Sam Moore, one of our producers, who is working on that project. Make sure we have. Okay, let's see. Whoop. Okay, Sam. Okay. Do we have Danny's Thanksgiving rant?
Oh, is that going to go on to the year
2021?
Yeah.
Okay, make sure we get that. People love that. Tyson, anything you want to make sure is included in the best of 2021?
What about man, I don't know.
Right? So much has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, the Roxanne wants the wife takeover episode again. Oh, that's what she wants is the one of them. Yeah.
Yep.
Was that this year? That was
this
in the
year.
winter, right?
Yeah. I think it was in the spring. I think it was like March or April. Yeah. All right. Well, if you think of anything, Tyson, make sure you let us know. Okay. Let me turn on the recording devices.
Okay. I'm gonna record.
All right, Danny. Here. What that you have a hard out or just a
no, just keep it tight.
Okay.
All right, you got it. All right.
Your parents are moving?
Yeah, my parents' situation is abnormal. They currently own 3 giant houses.
Okay.
They live in one, have their stuff moved to 2 different houses.
Okay.
So right now I'm moving stuff that I moved into a garage into the main house, stocking it, making it look livable. Okay. While they live in another house that they've held on to, my childhood home.
So your childhood home is the one there
they currently live in.
They moved back there?
Yeah, I know, them and the raccoons.
Why did they go back there?
Because someone was supposed to buy the house they still own that they were currently selling, but the new house wasn't done. Right,
one down in the river bottoms.
Yeah, so then the person backed out,
and they have a new house being built somewhere or getting built.
Yeah, they have a new house being remodeled. So
where's that one at?
1% of problems. It's the Covey's old house.
Oh, up by Rock Canyon Park.
Yeah, 7 Habits guy.
Okay.
By the way, his house was weird.
Oh, like Stephen Covey?
Yeah. So my parents took me to go walk around the house, and it's a weird house. Very strange. Giant room.
So this is the author of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective
and the Covey
people.
planners, the Franklin Covey planners. I have
How
been
was
to
the
house
lawn?
parties
Was it green and clean?
So the lawn was decent enough. He's been dead now for a while. But
we went to house. Did you go to that house?
Yeah, I went to a party there. Let me get to what I'm trying to get to.
Okay.
So we're walking.
This should be in the real show.
If you think so, you want to do it?
What do you think, Tyson?
I don't care.
Just go here. I don't want to stop the momentum. Give the YouTube people something.
Okay, so we're walking through the house, and it's very ornate. It's got painting on all the walls. They've obviously paid someone a lot of money. We go into the master bedroom. It's like a 30-foot vaulted ceiling. And at the top of it is a really poor recreation of the
Sistine Chapel.
The Sistine Chapel, St. Peter's Basilica, God touching the finger of Adam.
Except for it's his head and her face.
No, that would be weird. Damn. But the painting itself is weird, and obviously they didn't feel comfortable. The wiener on Adam is this really deformed, like the guy felt really uncomfortable painting the wiener. He started with the bottom of the shaft, and as he got to the tip, he was like, I don't like this, and just kind of like smeared the paint into like this really pointy phallus.
Yeah.
And it's just like the most awkward, weird thing I've ever seen in a house. And
do you think that
a lot of houses? But
do you think Stephen Covey's penis looks like that? So
maybe he wanted the exact recreation, but my parents are painting over it.
Yeah,
what are they doing? A bigger penis?
It's interesting. I believe that the 7th rule is sharpen the saw. So I think that maybe that was a metaphor that you want to have the sharpest phallus.
Yep.
Possible.
It's weird. It's beyond weird. I can't even imagine trying to have someone. They probably paid, like $100,000 to get a local artist to do that.
Maybe
And,
more. Are you
just looks awful, and my parents are just gonna right over it.
Are you gonna live in the pool house?
No, and this is the other thing. It is a giant house. It has like 4 bedrooms, which to me is such a waste. Like everything about it is just too big. My little brother lives in the basement. Yeah, except for Adam's dong.
Wait, your little brother's living in the basement?
Yeah, he lives in the basement
Of the Franklin Covey house?
Yeah. It's a weird house. They have an indoor pool, but it's no deeper than 4.5 feet, which is stupid.
I wore a Speedo to the pool party there and jumped off of, there's a balcony inside the pool house.
No, there's not.
A rope swing. There was something in there.
There's a rope swing.
Yeah. So I took the rope swing up, climbed up like something high, and rope swinged off in my Speedo. And were you with us that day when we were wearing Speedos at that, Danny?
Yeah, I went there.
And he wore a Speedo too.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't really remember.
I had like 10 Speedos in my car, so I just passed them out to our friends as we went in. And I remember his mom like coming in, the Covey lady came in and was like, "Hey, everybody." And we were like, "Hey, I'm in a Speedo." And then that was it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great story.
Very effective.
Anyway, weird house. Probably what you would expect from an
eccentric billionaire,
eccentric rich guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would expect everything would be perfect and worked out.
The house
how to
itself,
live their lives.
The house itself is overbuilt to perfection.
Yeah,
but it was just all the painting. He had every wall painted. Like he has storytelling pictures painted in the basement for the grand. Then he has like scriptures written in the library.
Oh, you gotta get rid of those.
It's just like so bizarre. It's just the flair of a rich guy who didn't have anyone telling him not to do something. You always need someone standing by your side telling you don't do that.
That's not what it is. This is what it is. He's like, I need the most eccentric, wackadoo Utah interior designer I can find. Because my dad builds those types of houses for a living, Danny. And I have dealt with these interior designers who are not talented, but do cost a lot of money. And you can find somebody whose design energy is equal to what this man wanted. And that's for sure what happened.
Well, I get to go move furniture around.
Okay. All right. So much for keeping this tight so far for Dan.
Yeah.
We haven't even started the show.
I've hit record. I'm recording now.
I'm recording too.
All right. This is the real, when I'll start the real show. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's say the 14th. Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Rob Cesternino back again to talk with you about the week's most interesting news stories for the week of December 14th, 2021, here on News AF.
If the story is buzzing like it's on crystal meth, it's about to be News AF. If the same old news makes you bored to death, it's time for some News AF. Actual, factual news.
Yes, that's right. We're back here to talk about everything happening in the world with our Action News AF team. Once again, here wearing the long sleeve, could be a sweatshirt edition of Nature with Tyson, Father Nature, pickleball's top influencer. Here he is. It's Tyson Apostle.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah. We have some good Nature with Tyson stuff coming up next year that we've been planning for a while. So look forward to that. But currently you can buy these for Christmas presents. I've seen a lot of orders come through. We have the sweatshirts, t-shirts, whatever you want. And I'm still leading the charge on the pickleball front as the face and voice of pickleball.
Yeah. Tyson, what's your hat?
It's just a Miami hat.
Miami. Got it.
You are well positioned. I read an article in the Washington Times or Post about the explosion and future of pickleball.
My name was probably in it.
I was like, dude, Tyson is well positioned for what the future of pickleball. He's like that Max guy in the safety car at the Formula One race, just well positioned to take the lead when the dam is released.
I also was in a Bloomberg article this week.
David Bloomberg?
Bloomberg News.
Yes, Bloomberg News. Yes,
the larger publication of the two.
It's blowing up, and you're blowing up with it. Your body parts, pieces of all over pickleball.
You were mentioned in the Bloomberg piece.
Yeah, I did an interview with them.
Wow. Okay. And what did you talk about? That
The explosion of pickleball and how I loved it
explosion.
and pivoted from reality TV to pickleball.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So,
You know, Leonardo's just waiting in the wings though to steal your spotlight.
no.
He's personally watching
Like
you.
Jeff Bezos' girlfriend.
Yeah, he's personally watching you
You
climb the
think?
ladder of success, and then he's just gonna step into the limelight and
No,
suck
but
all
he's
the air
such
out
a
of the room.
hater.
Yeah, he's a
You
hater.
can't let Tyson have anything.
Yeah, come on, Leo.
Leo.
Let him
Yeah.
have this one thing. It's the only thing that makes him happy. You got
True.
everything.
Yeah, it is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Can't let you have one thing.
one
This is it.
thing. I
Mhm.
also got back from
Back
Las
off.
Vegas. I played some.
Oh yeah, how was that?
that was great. I played some poker.
How much
And
money
some
did you win?
pickleball.
Yes.
I mean, we don't
Probably
have to talk about
thousands
Not
of
that.
about
dollars.
the money, Danny.
Oh, yeah. That's what the losers say.
I probably left $2,000 richer, but
Oh, well, dude.
from slot machines, not from
Yes.
poker.
Because you
Tyson-
got a system.
So I saw the lineup at the Pro-Am. Did you run into Michael Ian Black?
Yes,
Yes. Did you get to talk to him?
yes.
Yeah,
but I've
good.
known him before. I knew him before.
Yes, that he's one of my all-time favorites.
He is.
Yes.
Oh, you should have told me before.
Okay. Well, I didn't even I didn't know until you were probably there.
I'm friends enough with him that I can
Mhm.
talk to him more about it. He's one of
Friends
your
enough.
all-time favorite comedians or
Yes,
people or
yes.
what?
I mean, I don't know about him as a person,
Okay.
but I've watched him since like back in the 90s when he was on The State.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I am excited about that for you.
Mhm.
Rob.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. But I used to then I would be excited when it was like in the early 2000s. He would be on a lot of like the celebrity poker showdowns.
Yeah, he came and played, and
Mhm.
he's fun. I played with him before online. That was the lineup. The online poker I played with Michael Cera and Michael Ian Black. And there
Mhm.
were two Michaels, and you never knew which one you were talking to.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. All right. Well,
you should play poker if you want to meet.
I got
these
it.
guys.
Maybe I'll start.
Yeah.
So, also a man who you always know who you're talking to when you got this guy. It's the man with the signature voice. It's Danny Bryson.
Fat man voice.
Chubby voice
Mhm.
Danny.
Chubby
Yeah.
voice, Danny.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions to slim that voice down, or are you going to keep it fat?
No, I'll probably go to the gym.
Okay,
and
voice gym,
consult
vocal gym.
with an
Mhm.
expert,
Uh-huh.
and he'll put me on a diet, a lot
Okay,
of kale, and then I'll.
but it's
do
a
some-
voice diet only. How
I'll do
can you
some
make your voice sound skinnier?
Talk a little higher. Does that sound
Like-
skinny?
That sounds like Mickey Mouse, and Mickey Mouse has some
Very
very skinny
skinny.
legs. Yes,
Very
very
skinny.
skinny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe if I lose weight in the legs, maybe there's some kind of like law of constriction where it's like if you've got a lot of vascular stuff going
Mhm.
on and you have a lot of girth on your quads,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
somehow constricts the whole body and does something with the vocal cords. That's why I need to talk to an expert.
Yeah.
Uh,
But-
you know,
What would you do with the Quadrosaurus pants?
oh man, it'll be tough. I'll probably keep him around. I'm not
Mhm.
confident enough in this vocal program to throw away my Quadrosaurus pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the kind of person who buys all new pants, been thinking I'm
Okay.
going to fit into them in the future.
Oh, then you and I are opposites.
No, you.
Like,
That's
these
how
look-
that's what motivates you. All those
No,
pants.
it doesn't. I have pants that are 5 years old that I've never been able to fit into that I bought brand new 5 years ago.
What do? You keep them
Interesting.
in like a museum.
No, they're at the bottom of my pants drawer.
They make padding for all the other pants.
Yep.
They
And
shame
the more,
you every
yeah.
day.
The pants I wear more do obviously like cream work their way to the top, but also I position them on the top because they're more accessible.
Right.
And so every once in a while I go through my pants drawer and put all the ones that are too small for me to wear, but I'm hopeful those go on the very bottom.
Yeah. What if you go on Survivor and then you come home and then
That's
you're
true.
like, hey, where are those pants?
Yeah, exactly. Travis in the chat says it's a well-known scientific fact that quad girth leads to vocal obesity.
Yeah, there it is. It sounds like
Yeah.
he's a scientist, so I'll take his word for it.
Tyson, would you recommend to a young aspiring podcaster that they need to eat to have a very hearty voice?
Ooh, I don't know if that's
Feed the
if-
voice.
You have to feed the voice, but I don't know if it's nourishment it desires.
I'm gonna write a book
Uh,
called "Feed the Voice, Starve the Legs."
Okay. The Danny Bryson saga. and
Danny
story.
Bryson diet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
With foreword by Jillian Michaels.
I thought you'd write my foreword.
Okay, I can.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah, I will.
Can I write
Uh,
a blurb for the back?
Yeah.
you
What do they
can.
call postscript? I don't know what the
No, he's going to write a review.
afterward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
mine's-
yeah, that would be great. Yeah, a quote from Rob. This
Yeah.
book has
Mhm.
changed my life in ways I didn't even think were possible. Everything tastes better, things smell better, I'm happier. My legs have never felt so trim.
Yeah,
Love
it's
this
not
book.
just about the voice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and my forward is just going to be the eulogy I already have prepared for you, but I'll just change a few things around.
Mhm.
Danny
Okay.
Bryson is a great man. It'll be in the present tense instead
Thank
of the
you.
past tense.
Let's get into some of our top news stories at this hour. And if I would have asked you this morning, is a brain surgeon
Mhm.
smarter than the average person? What would you say, Tyson?
I would say, as far as pertaining to brain surgery, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Does a study cover arrogance?
Mm.
But I would say, outside of that, other than the fact that they've spent a lot of time in school,
Yeah, hardworking. They're hardworking.
sure, they're hardworking
Yeah.
and they probably did gather some knowledge. But as far as being smarter than the average person in a multitude of things, I would say, yeah, probably above average, but I wouldn't necessarily say that they have to be genius level.
Yeah. So a new study says exactly that people like brain surgeons and rocket scientists are no smarter. They possess no upper hand when it comes to the skills needed to succeed in logical, mathematical professions.
Obviously, there's exceptions, outliers.
Sure.
But it kind of does make sense because so much of surgery, it seems like, is rote memorization. So it doesn't require you to think outside the box, to imagine new concepts, to be super creative. And maybe I could be wrong. You know, I have a brother-in-law who is a brain surgeon, so maybe I'll ask him.
How smart is he? Like when you sit down for your favorite meal, Thanksgiving dinner, and you're sitting by him, do you feel like the conversation
How would I
engaging?
gauge? How
or
would
do you feel? Do you feel like
of
you have to
course.
dumb things down for him to
No,
understand?
I'm not dumbing things down, and it is engaging because he is a brain surgeon. So it's very interesting the things he has to talk about.
Yeah.
Would I say he's a genius? I don't even know what a genius would probably be. Completely quiet at a dinner table.
How is his vocabulary?
Average, but if we talked about brain things, I bet it's way above average.
Right.
Obviously,
And have
because
you
of the
ever
memorization.
assessed and been like, hey, if I were to get brain surgery, like what would you do to my brain?
I have asked brain-related questions, and he has answered them to satisfaction. But I kind of believe this study. I think that what it is you're a hardworking individual. You are smart, but you're also really good at memorization. I think that a genius-level individual doesn't necessarily go down a path as defined. And by the way, there's obviously outliers as this. Geniuses are weird, it seems like. Real
Wow.
genius is
Shots fired at the geniuses.
weird in a good way.
Rob, if you could choose brain surgery of your choice, what would you have done to your brain?
I don't even know what the options are. Could I see
I think
a list?
augmentation. You can get a brain augmentation.
Augmentation. No, I think they enjoy removing things.
Yeah.
you could get a partial frontal lobotomy, and then you'd probably just be more chill.
You know, my kids were telling me a brain surgery story about the guy that was playing violin, and while they cut out pieces of his brain, or they probed his brain, and then they brought it up with the brain surgeon brother-in-law, and he said something that really didn't make me think great of his profession. He said the reason they had the guy playing the violin is because he wanted to keep that part of his brain. And so they just kind of probed around until he kind of was like, "Rah," and like couldn't play. And they were like, you know what? We'll suck away his brain to this point. And it made me think, that's how you perform surgery. It's like, yeah, let's just poke around with this vacuum until we start sucking out the stuff that he wants to keep. It just didn't seem like a real precise
maybe
or
if you had like an
knowledgeable way.
electrician working on your house, it's like,
Yes,
all right, well, all right. Done.
I'm thinking of more of
that light off. Yeah,
the computer guy who like wipes your hard drive.
No, I think Rob's got a great example when you take your little voltage meter things, you put them into outlets.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this one doesn't have power. That's kind of what they were doing. It didn't really reflect great upon brain science.
Art in the chat asked if your brother-in-law is good at carving turkey because of all the brain surgeries.
I was going to ask the same thing.
I would guess that they wouldn't want to carve turkey or ever handle it.
Yeah, they want a day off.
Well, no, just because you can't risk damaging those hands doing something other than surgery.
Really? But you don't think he doesn't bring like a rollable soft case filled with scalpels. He's like, let's see how we're going to do the turkey this year.
And just in case he has to torture someone.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It's a torture kit, except for it's a turkey carving kit. Yeah.
I wasn't there. I didn't hang out with him for Thanksgiving. He actually does. The one thing that a surgeon does do is work a lot. And they always seem exhausted, which doesn't seem like a great combination if I'm going to have someone working on my brain to have them exhausted and overworked.
But maybe it's better because then they're just in autopilot, which is safer.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Now, rocket scientists, by the way,
seem...
I would think a rocket scientist would be a little bit more intelligent.
No, they're mathematic people. But like I play poker, we've already discussed this. There's a lot of mathematician style brains in poker as well. So I'm surrounded by these geniuses all the time. So for me, it ain't no thing. I'm not a respecter of persons. If you're a genius or not, we can still have a conversation.
Sure.
Just not about brain surgery or.
I would guess that a rocket scientist and probably a brain surgeon are smarter than me. I just can't. I think that you have to have some degree of intelligence to want to even go into those.
You mean more smart?
More smarterists.
Okay.
That's how they keep the normies out, Danny.
It could be. It could
be.
They
just making you feel like you're inadequate, dude.
They're definitely hard workers. Like that. I think that
they have that over you for sure.
Dispute that. They definitely work really hard.
But you went to school for almost that long.
I did, to get a bachelor's in business. So not exactly the same thing, but the same amount of time.
Yeah, but you're an entrepreneur.
Degree.
You're an entrepreneur.
Oh my gosh. Also... Oh, dude, I entrepreneur all over the place.
Yeah, you do.
Anyone who asks, I will give them entrepreneur advice.
Yeah. So the study basically said, okay, so brain surgeons and rocket scientists, those are the two jobs that people throw out there of like, okay, well, those are the super genius jobs. You do not need to be especially intelligent to do either one of those. So the study makers did say, though, that there might be other professions that we just don't know yet. That might be the professions that you actually need to be a genius.
I know which
quantum physics, things like that.
Quantum physics. You think if you're going to write a book on quantum physics, or
not necessarily write a book, but work on discovering. There are things that geniuses
understanding space through numbers is always like mind-boggling to me.
Like Einstein developing theories that don't exist. Obviously, earth-shattering.
I think anybody that can read like a set of blueprints is probably a degree a genius.
I totally agree with that. Every time I
like, here's your blueprints for your house. I was like, that doesn't make sense to anybody.
What is this? Is this Chinese? Am I looking at Chinese pinyin? What am I looking at? I agree with Tyson on that. If you can read a blueprint, you know what? You're smarter than me.
You're a genius.
You're a genius.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of geniuses, we talk a lot on this podcast about Elon Musk. We have chronicled many of his different projects over the years here on News AF. He was named Time Magazine's 2021 Person of the Year. Danny, did you agree with this?
Oh, totally. I agreed. Even with the haircut, I agree with it.
Yeah. Oh, did he get a good haircut?
Yeah, for the picture. He got like a weird dad mohawk.
Cool.
Where he just shaved the sides, but left it way too puffy up top. More of a mushroom head. More like
a cool mushroom head.
Cool mushroom head.
Yeah. Okay. And he hosted SNL also this year.
Yeah.
That was pretty big. But now he is talking about that he is going to he has an idea to recreate Noah's Ark, and what he wants to do is fly a spaceship filled with all of the animals of the earth to Mars.
So it'll leave with live animals and land with corpses.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea, because getting us to Mars requires us sending live animals. There's a lot of stuff between here and Mars that can kill us, and just dealing with the radiation. That's probably what he's talking about. I mean, what was his long-term plan? Just frozen corpses that we can reanimate if we have to. And so for some reason we stored them all the way on Mars instead of in that facility in Scandinavia, that's buried under the ground that has all the seeds. I think much of Elon, much of his genius is that he gets people thinking and motivated to do projects that he doesn't necessarily want to do himself, but he loves to talk about doing.
No, I think part of his genius is he says stuff that is so ridiculous and then kind of does it.
That's what I mean. But
like,
it fans
people
the
trapped
flames.
in a cave. I'm going to make a cave submarine. And then
Yeah.
all the greatest scientists are like, that won't work at all. He's like, I don't care. I'm building it anyway. And it definitely did not work.
Or they say, oh my gosh, I need to build a cave submarine. Or my gosh, what is Elon doing? He's
throw enough stuff against the wall,
Well, and when you have this much power and publicity as
you just
Elon,
have to say it. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the things that we enjoy, and especially in terms of electric cars, are probably, he didn't, by the way, start Tesla. He just stepped in and made it cool. And what it did was motivated all these other companies that are now trying to catch up or are catching up. And that's kind of like his thing, is he says things like going to space, going to Mars, electric cars. And then everyone's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do that too. Especially all the other billionaires who are like, oh, I thought of that first, actually. That was my idea. I'm going to send an Ark. I mean, what's Bezos going to do? He's going to send a bunch of celebrities to Mars?
Yeah. I think something like that.
That it says in the Time magazine interview, the next really big thing is to build a self-sustaining city on Mars and bring the animals and creatures of Earth there. Like a futuristic Noah's Ark will bring more than two, though. It'd be a little weird if there's only two.
Yeah, the thing that's great is that I feel like maybe Elon Musk isn't aware of what invasive species do to current ecosystems. Because even me, a non-genius, well, I actually consider myself kind of genius, but I understand that there are unforeseen repercussions of taking animals to a non-native habitat.
Yeah.
Look,
and if you're taking all the animals to a non-native habitat,
all the animals on Mars?
What are we going to get? Like a peacock giraffe, as they have some like type of animal orgy? Like, I don't know how any of it works, but this is bad.
How bad would that ship smell?
Oh my! As bad as Noah's Ark.
Honestly, Elon, another thing he does when he's being interviewed or when he's tweeting is he just says things off the top of his head. And it's something he's been
when he's high on drugs.
Knock it off, Elon.
Well, he says he's done with drugs. He came out recently and said that. So, but I really feel like he just kind of says things that he's been thinking about. Like, oh man, it'd be cool if we could send some. He was probably thinking about that right before God asked the question, like, what's the next step? He's like, sending a ton of animals to Mars, because really, it's going to be hard enough for humans to live there. Resources are scarce, making air difficult, all of those things difficult, dealing with radiation, the people who have all the stomach cancer from the flight there, dealing with them is going to be a problem. You're not all of a sudden going to move over thousands and thousands of animals. I mean, just getting them into space, the cost is insane.
And to find some type of religious weirdo to travel with the animals, thinking he's on God's errand,
is that required?
Yeah, I think so. If you're recreating
There's tons of those.
You should. It's true.
You could get a bunch of people.
One of the TV evangelists to be the modern
day
Noah
Joel
to space.
Olsenstein.
Yeah, Joel Olsenstein.
I don't know if that's his name, but it's cool. Send out those Ark ships to Mars. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Do the animals want to go to Mars?
They don't get a say.
Yeah.
They don't. It's not. They just are lucky, I guess.
Okay. Let's talk about another study that was reported this week, and I'm telling you that for you guys, you have a real opportunity, because
should we get in now?
Yeah, I think you do, because scientists at the Stanford School of Medicine
are these guys geniuses or not? Probably
they could be. We don't know.
Yeah.
Regular average scientists.
Yeah, what they found was that they injected a certain protein into mice that were more sedentary, and they saw some cognitive improvements. And so what they have found is that if we take blood samples, maybe from athletes, that it can provide a cognitive boost for people that are more sedentary.
I've got gold in these veins.
There's a book about this. Flowers for Algernon.
Is that
Where?
real? Is that a real book?
This is a real book.
What's happening?
They take mice, they make them genius mice. Then they take this man who is not smart. He's a lab guy that works in the lab as like a errand boy. They inject him with this same thing. He becomes a genius, falls in love. But then the side effects of the drugs after a handful of months or years is that it degrades your brain into mush.
This is kind of like young blood too.
Yeah. Young blood.
Young blood, the whole transfusion of young blood into rich guys, older men, it seemed like. Very similar.
What they did was they had mice that like ran like on a treadmill, like on their like hamster wheel, I guess. And they took that blood and they over the course of a month, they substantially increased the quality of neurons and other brain cells compared to their sedentary companion. So the scientists are feeling that this could be another way to fight off dementia. We talked last week about how the study had found that Viagra also was a booster.
So you think the Illuminati is now gathering around? Instead of collecting young blood, they're collecting star athletes
who are high on Viagra.
Taking them to their lair, pulling blood from their system, microdosing it with even more Viagra, then injecting it straight into their genitals.
I don't know if it goes right to the genitals because this is more of a brain thing.
So into the brain.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know if the athletes need to take the Viagra. I think that maybe you'd have the host
why
take
not,
Viagra.
Look, Rob, why wouldn't you have the athlete taking Viagra and during that 4 hours taking the blood out?
This is also, Danny, you forgot that. Let's say you take you're like, okay, star athlete, you get to join the Illuminati, come into our lair, and then he gets there and they're like, take all this Viagra, and then they strap him down and they start to do all the blood stuff, and he's like, I'm gonna go, and they're like, really, all Viagra'd right now? You're gonna walk out the door all Viagra'd? And so
you'll be
like,
so
he's like,
embarrassed.
oh yeah, I gotta wait. So yeah, you'd be too embarrassed, so he has to stay there.
I just realized something.
Yeah,
we have the knowledge here. 3 geniuses.
Three genius level non-scientists.
By reading all of these reports for the past 5 or 6 years about what keeps people young, fit, and sharp. Why aren't we making a pill? The News AF
pill?
Stay Youth pill, Stay Young pill, or whatever.
Yeah.
Youth
what are we,
enhancement
Gwyneth Paltrow?
Well, we could be because we have the knowledge. We know all these things like dark
AF
chocolate,
dust.
wine from Greece, young blood, athlete blood, a little Viagra sprinkled in, a little caffeine.
Save this for the blog on glop.com.
Glop, that's right.
Yeah.
I think we'd get, but seriously, we know enough now as a group here to make our own secret stay young pills.
Danny, that the stuff that we talk about here on the show, how much of this have you implemented into your own life?
Well, I'm always flush with athletic blood.
Yeah,
so I've got that. True. I don't even know where you get Viagra. Probably from you have to ask an old person.
I think consult your doctor.
Yeah,
I'm not going to.
You can get it in Mexico. I think you can get it in Mexico without consulting a doctor.
Darker blue pill.
Let's have Rob drive to Mexico. Get a trunk full of Viagra. Bring it back.
The doctor asks you.
We'll crush the Viagra.
You mean the doctor says, "Hey, do you need Viagra?"
I've gone to the doctor and they say like, "Hey, how's everything?" And I'm like, "No."
And what do you say?
I say, "It's fine."
But like, we're off the record now. What do you say?
What do you really say?
Yeah,
my doctor doesn't ask me that.
That's because you look at how obviously vascular you are.
Yeah, he's like, dude.
If it's not working, then you probably should just get it removed because no amount of vascular pill is going to do.
But what, guys? I'm going back to our $1 million idea.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like we know enough. We know more than most because this is something that we've covered the biggest
We've
advancements.
seen the studies. Okay.
We've seen so many studies. 2,000 study now, people.
Yeah.
We've got all the information we need to make our own pill.
Okay, very good.
All right, let's talk behind, afterwards. about
I'm the
this
closest to
$1 million
Mexico,
idea.
but I don't want to drive there, so we
Yeah, you got to go
do
get
that.
bags and bags of dark blue pills.
Yeah,
Mhm.
gotta have somebody else do that.
And we're just gonna grind them up and make one new pill.
No.
Yeah.
We sprinkle that on top of the blood, dried blood, my dried blood,
your dried blood. Okay,
and then tie some
Change
of
the
Tyson's
color.
dried blood.
we're gonna do some a different color too. Probably.
So
like,
yeah,
add
so
some
I
food
didn't realize
coloring.
that Danny's blood was such a big part of this
I'll
pharmaceutical.
use my
that
blood.
we're-
It's mostly blood. Yeah, it's mostly his blood.
Yeah, would you
So
take?
it's Danny's blood,
Uh-huh.
Tyson's
spiked
fecal
with
matter,
dark
'cause
chocolate.
Tyson's
Coagu-
fecal matter, because that does help.
Yeah,
they've
but I
talked
think
about
I don't think you take that orally.
Yeah, that's suppositorily.
Yeah,
That's
but it
too,
dissolves.
so now it's a
That's a
it's
different
a system.
product. That's
This is
in
a
the
system.
store. It's a different product.
It's a whole system.
It's
Rob.
a delivery system that we can look into.
Yeah, it's like
to
here.
do
These are your
everything.
oral pills. They're purple because red mixed with blue.
Mostly
and
blood
then
and Viagra.
yeah, and then the other pills that you take non-orally.
You take
Yeah.
them simultaneously and
Uh-huh.
hope that they'll join
The meat,
together,
yeah.
time it right, and they touch each other and dissolve. And all
Uh-huh.
of a sudden, you're 10 years, you feel
Mhm.
and look
like God
10 years
touching
younger.
Adam's
Yeah.
finger.
Yeah, Thomas in the chat has a name for our new drug,
Let's hear
Viagrate.
Fire, great.
I like it.
hmm Yeah.
So we'll get Dr. Mike on there as a urologist.
I mean, you
to
can
promote.
consult. Yeah, you can consult.
Consult and then promote.
You need a quote from a doctor
Yeah.
on the package.
I'm a doctor, and this hasn't seemed bad for people.
What did you say was our name? Not Goop,
He
but
listens,
Droop?
Dr. Mike. Yeah.
Gloop.
Gloop.
Glop.
Glop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or plop.
Yeah.
Plop.
This is
I'm not sure.
exciting. This is an exciting venture for us.
It's the fountain of youth.
Sure
Oh
is.
my gosh. The fountain of youth. Who knew it was made out of blood?
These three podcasters aren't geniuses, but they may have just discovered
One
the
simple
fountain
trick.
of youth.
One simple trick to keep you young that doctors are rolling over in their graves over.
Mhm.
Read the story of three guys who quit their jobs and, and founded this magical pill.
America's hottest new suppository.
Okay, well, I'm all in. I'm definitely all in.
Okay.
Let's include, hold on, one last thing. Let's include some shocks, like brain shocks. I think that's also a thing.
Shocks?
Small voltage. Remember, we read a story about sending small voltage to your head. So while you're taking the pills,
it
you're getting
going.
small
Get it
voltage shocks to your brain. Just throwing that out there.
Ever since I went to Disneyland, I get weather updates from Disneyland. My phone still thinks I'm there for some reason. So anybody out that way, it is drizzling right now.
Okay.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right. Holiday season is around the corner.
Okay.
So we'll have a regular episode next week. And then I think the week after we'll have our best of News AF special coming up. Does that sound good for you guys?
Sure.
Okay.
I will be
cool.
traveling that day, but we'll figure it out.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
Always do.
So over in Australia,
Ooh.
that a real estate agency has come under fire because that they have emailed their tenants, giving them the opportunity to buy Christmas gifts for the landlord.
Ooh.
Come on.
Yeah,
You
they
don't.
sent an
You can't be
email.
told to buy a present.
Yes, and they gave them like an order form for that gifts to give along with any handwritten notes for the landlords.
Why do the landlords get presents? Shouldn't the tenants be the ones getting the presents?
Well,
They're paying
and
off the mortgage.
feel free to give the landlord a present if he's gone above
Yeah.
and beyond, or you become a friend with him. But this is being forced to give presents. This is like a North Korean tactic for landlords in North Korea.
Okay. So the things that you could get for your landlord for $50, you get a white wine grazing box.
$50
For $55, a festive sweets basket.
Oh my
For
gosh.
$70, a self-care hamper.
Mhm.
For $99, a foodies hamper. Or for $150, a thing called All Gifts Golden.
These Australians have such a backwards culture.
For $199, get a glue
Why do you
kit.
say that? Because you have to buy presents for your landlord?
Yeah, why are you buying? And because their toilets spin the opposite direction as ours.
Yes,
but
yes.
why are they buying presents for
They're
landlords?
being asked to buy presents. And
Yes,
given,
and they have come under fire, Tyson. This was
Rightfully
not
so.
people did
Yes.
not like it that they did this.
Yeah, no. If you're paying rent instead of owning, you're either extremely wealthy or barely paying rent every month. And this is insulting and infuriating. I don't like this at all. If I were paying rent
sounds
I
like
was a couple
nobody
years
does,
ago,
except
I
for the
would.
landlord.
Yeah, I would be furious. I would send them a thing that was like gifts you can get for your tenants, and then it would just be like, it would be nice. Or I'd do a hand mold of me flipping the bird as their present.
Oh, that could be
in
cool.
a candle. Yeah, in a
That'd
candle.
be. It could be a ring holder. Could hold bracelets too.
That's true.
Necklaces. That's actually not a bad
Sure.
idea.
Yeah.
Oh, Thomas's landlord is his mom, and he has to give her a Christmas present. I didn't even think of that. I did not even think of
Now
that.
there's some overlapping. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is a Christmas a hamper?
I thought you
All
were
these
saying
are
Christmas
hampers.
ham.
No, I
Yeah.
know what a ham is.
And why is this like these are gifts you can like? Is this on like 1-800-flowers.com
This
or
was
whatever?
emailed to the tenants with links to buy these things.
What if the
Oh my
Christmas hamper
gosh.
holds ham? It's a ham hamper.
Oh, a ham hamper?
Yeah.
Ham
No.
hamper. You
What
don't
A lot
want
of
to
these,
just
a lot of these gifts were from a website called hamperswithbite.com, I think.
dude. Big
Are
hamper is a problem over in Australia, influencing.
Do you think their spiral
policy.
cut hams are reverse spiral cut?
Mhm.
Spiral cut hams? Is that why? Is that what they do? Do they put it in some kind of mad machine that it twists it and cuts
Yeah.
it simultaneously?
I think
Mhm.
so.
That explains so much about
Yeah, I mean,
how the ham falls off the bone.
Yeah, it's a spiral cut ham, bro.
Okay. All right. So
yeah, I'm
golden
not in for
ratio.
that, and I actually would say, for the most part, tenants do not feel obligated or even encouraged to purchase a gift for your landlord. Yeah, I'm on the
Mhm.
tenant side.
Give them
Yeah.
a Bible.
Okay.
A Bible? Oh,
Yeah,
you could probably
it's-
call. You could call the missionaries on them. Just
I
be
mean,
like, "We have a Bible coming. It's hand delivered."
If you're gonna give a present, give them one that kind of annoys them.
Yeah,
So that's
that's
what I was
like
thinking.
infuriating.
Like
yeah,
here to celebrate the true meaning of Christmas
yeah.
is.
I
a
got
Bible.
you a puppy. Something that just like is more responsibility
An
than
angry
gift.
cat.
Yeah, yeah. Here you go.
I have a
I'm gonna
cat.
check. I'm gonna check to make sure you still have it every day.
Good
I
idea.
want to share something that was sent in from one of our listeners here, and it's very impressive when this stuff comes in, like in the middle of the show. But one of our listeners sent in the speculative cover for Danny's autobiography.
Ooh.
Here, "Feed the Voice, Starve the Legs" by Danny Bryson. That's from Jeremy.
Thank you.
Look at that
Yeah.
pensive stare.
Why isn't underneath by Danny? It doesn't say with forward from Survivor's own Tyson Apostle.
Mm-hmm. True.
Because that's going to move some of those books, you know.
Mhm. Yes. Thank you, Jeremy, at JBOL2434 for that.
Yeah. Very nice. I like that.
job.
And and then the back cover says something about from Rob, a quote from Rob.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
cool. Yeah.
Yep.
So are you going to have these written and published and ready to go before the holidays, Danny?
Yeah, I should have it ready by the end of today.
Okay.
Start right now.
Wow. Okay.
Genius. What a genius. Writing a book in a day. Some
So-
people read a book a day. Some people write a book a day.
hmm Danny, I know you had talked about one time about how I believe your son ordered a bunch of things on the Minecraft store.
Oh, yeah. No, he got he purchased a bunch of coins for Fortnite. Whatever. I can't
Fortnite.
remember what the coins were, but yeah,
Mhm.
10,000 of them.
Yeah.
Which was how much USD?
Oh man, I can't even remember. I think it was, I want to say $200, something like that.
Mhm.
And I wasn't the only one. I've talked to other parents who have lost money to coins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So again, another story from Australia today that a child in Sydney got their parents' phone and went on the Uber Eats app
Nice.
to order $1,200 worth of ice cream from the dad's credit card on Uber Eats.
Too much. That's too dramatic of a crime. Why couldn't this
Mhm.
kid just parcel it out in tiny bits and pieces?
Well, let me ask you this. Did the parents order it, then realize how expensive
yeah.
it was, then blame it on the kids to get refunded?
Yeah. How do you even run up a $1,200 bill on ice cream?
I don't think if I went to Baskin Robbins, it was like, I want to spend $1,200. They'd be like, well, you can buy the store for $1,500, or we only have $600 worth of ice cream.
Also, how do they
total.
get that much ice cream to you without some of it being melted? That's a big order.
that
In
is.
Australia,
And how do you eat it all before it melts?
it's just impossible. You're just going to be handed a bunch of goo.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
If you want to try
Rob,
every
find
flavor.
out. Give me more information.
Yeah. So the dad didn't know this had happened until he got a call from the Uber
So he
driver.
claims.
And then he walked up to drop it all off.
He walked up to drop it all off. I feel like you'd need wheelbarrows or something.
Yeah, exactly. What if, it just came in wheelbarrows? He just scooped it out of the thing behind the glass.
Or did he get
put it in
the
a
ice cream
wheelbarrow?
with the gold flakes in it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know exactly how they, like, the mom posted a picture on Instagram of all the different things that they ordered.
How convenient. They got a picture out on Instagram. They got an article in a major international newspaper. I mean, whoa.
Pedestrian.tv.
There you go.
Yeah.
That is quality.
Wow.
We're talking about it here, though. It's blowing up.
Blowing up. Well, and that was in Australia?
That was in Sydney, yeah.
Huh. Man, these Australians, they've really got it going on this week.
Yeah, so I mean, it's too bad that this kid his
doesn't have a
parents-
landlord.
his parents weren't renting, because then they would have had all their landlord gifts
That would be
already.
nice.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. It seemed like it wasn't all ice cream that they ordered. It seemed like there was a bunch of things like in jars and like sweets that came. So I think there were some things that were you could have saved and given as gifts.
Wow. Huh. Well, I don't. Then maybe you open your own website to sell it to
Resell.
various tenants throughout the country to give as gifts.
Now, speaking of things in jars, this is a story that was shared with us. This came to us from looks like some sort of like a Tampa radio station. One of our listeners, John, sent it our way. It's the story of a woman from 90 Day Fiance. I'm actually not familiar with her. Stephanie Maddow.
So you think she's lying about being on that show?
Should I look her up?
Yeah, look her up. I mean, I only know one Stephanie from 90 Day Fiance, but I don't think that's this is the same person. And Stephanie from 90 Day Fiance has made a nice nest egg of trying to side hustle. Yeah,
Let's hear it.
Cool. Side hustle. It's all about the side hustle.
Her side hustle involves having flatulence into a jar that she sent that the people pay $1,400 for.
$1,400.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a great story for my kids because we've talked about this, about the possibility of doing this. And now that I know that it's not only possible, but financially can be very, very
$1,400 for what?
A fart in a jar.
A fart in a jar.
Yeah.
Nobody's bought one of these.
Yeah. Well, that's what we need. We don't need the story of the person selling it. We need the story of who is the person buying this.
We need the story of 500 people who have bought them.
Maybe we should ship a bunch of jars of farts to the Mars.
Yeah. She claims on her Instagram, wow, what a crazy week it's been. Thank you for all of the orders, the questions, and support, and the love. More to come. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hashtag 90 Day Fiance, hashtag unfiltered, hashtag unfiltered official, hashtag 90 Day Single Life, hashtag fart, hashtag fart jar.
No, thank you for reading those hashtags because I was dying to know what tag she was using.
She claims the caption on this video, and I'm scared to play the video. She says, I made almost $50,000 selling my farts in a jar in 1 week.
I need evidence. I'm with Tyson.
Yeah.
I want to meet someone who bought this and isn't related to her.
This is her claiming that to try and sell more farts.
Exactly. This is the first step in selling $50,000 worth of farts, is to say you've already
How do you
sold that
buy
much.
them? Does she have a store?
Probably Etsy.
Is that
This
Etsy?
sounds like Etsy. Yeah.
Does that sound like an Etsy product?
Yeah, in a mason jar.
I think she's got a small group of people working out of her home, kind of like the beginning of a new Mary Kay.
I gotta ask Puya about this. Yeah.
Why? You have someone you can ask?
90 Day. Well, I cover 90 Day Fiance. I don't cover 90 Day Fiance The Single Life. I didn't watch that one. But Puya talks about it, and I'm on her Instagram. Boy, it's a wild Instagram. She has a video about a day in the life of a woman who sells her farts in a jar.
Again, allegedly sells farts in a jar.
She
We
takes
don't know
you through
anyone
her
who's
whole
bought it.
process of what she's eating.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What you eat affects your product very much.
Mm-hmm.
And probably customers expect a certain type.
Yeah, she makes a special smoothie that gets her ready.
Interesting. That's probably the family secret.
She also puts a flower petal, which you would think would be counterintuitive, but she says that it holds the the contents better.
I would think a sponge would be better than a
Sponge,
flower.
yeah,
Put a sponge in there so that the user can like squeeze it out every last drop of scent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
This is exciting. You know what? There's so many ways to make money in this crazy world.
Tyson, you seem like that you are disgusted by this.
I still don't. It's not true.
Yeah, we don't know anyone who's bought it, but Tyson's wheels were turning in his head. He's like, dude, could I?
I was kind of turning because I was like, should I sell farts? But then there's probably some DNA in a fart juice in a fart.
Mm-hmm. So you think that somebody could commit a crime and then leave your
fart
all over the dead body?
Yeah, leave your jar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be an amazing storyline for like CSI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Danny, would this be a good gift for your landlord?
Oh, yes, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, excellent idea. This is the perfect gift for your landlord. This is probably how she's selling $50,000.
This is exactly what you give your landlord. Yeah. Also, Danny, along your lines of your kids, what about youth farts that bring youth and exuberance after you inhale and hold them?
Is there any research that shows like the
it's better if there's not
the flatulence?
And then we can say not FDA approved.
The flatulence of young, athletic, virile people.
Yeah.
Does that have any effect?
What's our doctor? We've got a doctor on the payroll. We could just have him say that it does.
Dr. Mike Zielinski.
Then you put an asterisk at the bottom that says FDA has not approved any of these claims.
No.
That's all you have to do.
All right. Danny, are you ready to take us to your bolt hall where no jars get filled?
No, just jars of hope and joy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody comes to refill it. Yes, let's do it.
All right, here is Danny's bolt hole.
Welcome to my bolt hole. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel you belong.
Yeah.
You guys see, remember we talked about the International Space Station having a hole in it?
Okay.
Did we talk about that? And one running theory was that it was an accident. When the module was being made, a worker accidentally drilled too far into the module, so that when it got mounted on the space station, that's when they discovered the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Russia is suing an astronaut because they say that she intentionally drilled the hole so she could go home because she was having relationship issues.
Is this a rumor?
Of course, it's a rumor. Russia is throwing it out there because they don't want to blame the poor module, on their people. So they're blaming it on an astronaut. And I just thought that was kind of like, that was interesting. if you're on the space station, and this isn't my bolt hole, if you're on the space station and you want to go home, what's the easiest way to get a ticket home? Because every launch is scheduled out, and probably there's no way to be like, oh, I have diarrhea. Can I go back to Earth? Right?
Yeah, you can't do that.
It just doesn't seem like a logical thing to do. Plus, why would you drill a hole in a thing that is providing you life?
This is my
dangerous.
theory. This is my theory. Russian government goes to astronaut. Hey, we're going to fake sue you for drilling a hole, claiming you have relationship problems, and we're going to pay you $10 million.
Oh, sweet payoff.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just something I thought about. I can't remember.
But it's in caviar.
Elon Musk.
It's in caviar and
delicious.
Exactly.
$10 million
in caviar. And what else is another Russian export?
And jar farts.
Oh, is that where they come from?
Investing. They just invested in jar farts.
Mm-hmm.
No, what I want to talk about, and this is definitely a story that you guys saw.
Okay.
And that was the woman who on Instagram held the handle Metaverse. Did you guys?
Yeah. So what happened? That
did she get it after?
I heard about this.
She's had it for 10 years or nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden on November 2nd, it was disabled, and she got a notice that said your account has been blocked for pretending to be someone else.
Okay.
And I thought this is just a good reminder, and I'm going to share this here, that I don't think you own anything. Instagram is God. Like Facebook, Metaverse, Meta, whoever, they are God, and they will do what they want as far as you being on their
Everybody
platform.
Remember, Mark Zuckerberg is your landlord.
Yes, right? Exactly.
If you get him a present this year, so you don't risk upsetting him in the new year.
Yeah.
He's
get
very
in the
much
hamper.
Your landlord.
Mm-hmm.
And so all those things you post, all those things you say, all the comments you make, your account handle can be taken away at any moment.
Any moment.
Yeah. As this woman proved, she had something of value that they wanted, and
they just took it.
No legitimate excuse. They just took it.
Generally, how these transactions work, if it's not the actual medium that is the owner of that, is that there's a monetary transaction made.
That's how it should have gone down.
We want the handle.
Yeah.
We started this. We changed the name of our company. So you had Metaverse first. You came up with, like, she should sue them for stealing her name.
See, I don't think that she has any power, because all the fine print and those things you agree to that nobody reads probably states they could take whatever you want. Blood, athletic blood, stool samples.
Sure.
Remember, they had to pay the guy, or they did pay the guy who owned the website Metaverse. He got money because he wasn't on their platform. But this woman, they'll take what they want. And just keep that in mind on this holiday season, that Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, they're your landlord, but they don't ask.
Danny, as a entrepreneur by degree and trade.
Yes. Let me put that bachelor's degree to work.
Should we be guessing URLs of companies, large companies, large future companies, or
is it worth it though?
If you get it right, yeah.
But what if they're so powerful? What if it's somehow under their umbrella and they could just come in and muscle you out of it?
Yeah, you have to make sure it's not in their umbrella. So guess names that would not be associated with actually the actual purchase of a URL.
They have too much power. And it'd be better not to sell it to them, because then you can like go to bed every night just feeling so awesome, being like, oh yeah, here it comes. I'm going to post endless pictures. I own metaverse.com. I'm going to post so many pictures of weird Zuckerberg with way too much sunscreen on his face. That's all it's going to be. And that would bother him so much. My guess is that you would end up dead in an alley at some point.
Do you know how much the URL he got for the URL?
How much?
I don't know. I'm just thinking like how much because I'm sure you could get a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
Like just be like, $2 million. They're like, just give him what he wants. We don't care. We're trillionaires, you know?
And there are people who do invest in URLs. They sit around on URLs. They kind of guess. Whenever a presidential nominee or person runs for president, they quickly find out all the URLs they forgot to purchase.
Yeah.
Because someone quickly ran out and bought it.
Yeah.
so that they can resell it or embarrass them.
Yeah, I got when I first was on Token Chains, the Survivor, the first one in 2008 or 9. They had was on Twitter before the rest of the cast and before because Twitter was just new then. And I honestly, there was a moment where I was like, I should get all of the handles from all the contestants on that season, and then I can sell them to those people. I should honestly have done that because I probably could have sold fishbacks to him. Then I could have just acted as JT this whole time.
What do you get when you go to StephenFishback.com?
Oh, not URL. I was going to get his handle on Twitter.
Oh.
Twitter, which actually that you're squatting on people's handles. That's
Yeah.
going to make you a lot of enemies.
No, it's his website.
See, I could have gotten that
about
too.
Stephen Fishback.
He probably had a website before we went on
Yeah.
Survivor.
There you go.
So yeah.
Be
Anything
careful out
else?
there on
Be
the
careful.
internet.
Yeah.
None of it's yours.
The internet is a dangerous place.
What about
where you can-
DannyBryson.com?
I didn't want to know.
I actually bought that, and then I've just been putting up like
Dong pictures.
no, just like only you like sitting in a couch or playing video
That's
games
not-
or watching
That's
TV.
not bad. That's nice.
So it's like anti-adventure. Danny.
You're posting more content than I am.
Yeah, it's like the anti-adventure.
Yeah. The antithesis of Danny.
Yes.
Yeah, Danny in real time.
Not
Mhm.
antithesis. Antithesis. Correct.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes.
So anyway, that's it. I mean, the stories. Some weeks are very plentiful.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
harvest is great when it comes to news. And this
Yeah.
past week wasn't one of those weeks.
But we still
Scoured
had
news.
fun.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we picked some great stories. All these
Yeah.
were great stories.
Okay.
But there's nothing left in the bolt hole. We all used it.
Did you say bolt hell? Is it a
Bolt
bolt
hell.
hell when there's
Bolt
no?
hell.
Is
No,
that a
this is-
Freudian slip, Danny?
No,
Yeah.
look, my bolt hole is very peaceful right now. Probably the most
Mhm.
peaceful place in this house.
Where's the cat?
Not scratching at my door. Thank goodness.
Good.
Probably sitting on my pillow.
Mhm.
I think about that all the time.
Okay. Danny, what's coming up for you?
Oh boy.
Wait.
Yes.
Paul in
What?
the chat came up with a genius idea. A Russian doll style fart jar where each smaller
Ooh,
jar has
yes.
a different
Yes.
fart in it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is a good idea.
It's a really good idea. Start with a 5-gallon bucket and then go down to a paint can and then go
Mhm.
down to a large mason jar, to a medium mason jar, to a small mason jar, to a thimble with a cap on it.
How exciting would that be? Like the first days of Christmas, like an advent calendar with farts in it.
Everybody
Reasonable.
gather around.
Yeah. We're going to open up Tyson's Day.
Yeah. That's
Ooh,
cool. Yeah.
What a scent. He must have had chili.
Yeah. Broccoli and cheese.
Mhm.
Rob, that's all I had. I just saw that and thought that would add to our already stellar podcast.
All right. Well, Danny, what's coming up for you this
I'm
week?
plugging away on YouTube. I consider trying to go out. I'm like, I'm motivated. I'm going to go out and get some businesses to sponsor me.
Dude.
And then I sat for an hour in my office.
What do you do? You go knock on doors?
No, like do kind of like what Tyson did, reach out. Because I actually have a pretty good, YouTube presence.
Yes,
whatever.
you do.
But then I just imagine I started going through some of the companies I wanted to work with on Instagram, and I started thinking about having to deal with them. And after an hour of doing nothing except for sitting and thinking, I decided it was better not to contact anyone, but to continue what I do. So
Yeah.
So I'll be plugging away,
Smart.
putting out new videos, and not plugging in those corporate sponsors
Mm-hmm.
yet until I can somehow break down this resistance or this inability to just reach out to someone else.
Yeah. Tyson, do you think that maybe you could get Danny on the therapist couch and you could help him overcome these issues?
Yeah, I think so. Danny,
Yo,
come down to my house. We could probably do an online one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
well, reach out to me. I know you're well trained. What was your degree again? Swimming?
Yeah, my degree was no, I dropped out. Swimming, I didn't even go 4 years for that.
So that definitely qualifies you. Really, what I need is a third party who can talk to these people. So I don't
think they have
to.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, they have
That's
those.
really all I need. I've been trying to tell my wife to do it because she complains that I do all this work and get almost nothing in return, and she's kind of sick of it. She's like, it's my joy isn't enough of a return. She wants to see financial success, but
she doesn't want you to be happy.
Yeah, she's like, oh, and I said, if I start doing stuff for other people, then they start to dictate what gets done and what my time frames are. No, thank you. I'm living the dream.
Danny's his own man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Danny,
I am currently.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
anyway, that's what's going on. So if you, mediocre and amateur on YouTube, putting out videos all the
if you want to
time.
sponsor mediocre and amateur,
Danny
Yeah,
at mediocreamateur.com.
Exactly. If you make quality outdoor gear, feel free to reach out to me somehow. So good
Or
luck.
indoor gear. You're fine with that.
Yeah, I guess, but I prefer for outdoor gear because that stuff's expensive. They're charging so much to stay alive in the wilderness in wintertime. It's insane.
Yeah.
Well,
Right, come to
winter
me
is
with
one of
your
the
indoor
hardest
gear.
times to stay alive.
It's like they want me to die. That's how much they're charging. Like we're
Mhm.
charging so much for a jacket. We'd prefer you not wear one.
Yeah, but it's like selling water in a desert. They know that if you don't wear one, you're going to die, so they can make it whatever price they need
Yeah,
to.
trash bags only take you so far.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Maybe we could get Glad as a sponsor.
Do you wear trash bags?
He loves trash
well,
bags.
I have worn the equivalent of a trash bag, those lame
Tarps.
ponchos, that you
Yeah.
buy
Yeah.
that are see-through. And
Yep.
yeah, that's basically a trash bag.
Ooh. Do you wear it by itself, or do you have other stuff?
Maybe
under
I
it?
get a trash bag sponsor, one of these
Yeah.
ponchos to sponsor me, but
read
I've worn
Glad.
those. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. Tyson,
Nice.
you're pickleballing with all the money.
Pickleball in this week. I have a bunch of games set up for tomorrow, but we'll see if I can do those because I double booked myself. So I'd be like playing pickleball for like 5 hours. And I also have the Pod Has Spoken podcast, the finale,
Yes.
and that should be good. And
Do you have
then
anything big planned for the finale?
no, because I watched the episode in the morning by
Mhm.
myself in my office. So after that, I get to play pickleball. So I get to play pickleball while everyone else is watching it live.
Nice.
Wow.
And then Thursday, Pickle Pod. And then we're going to Utah. Actually,
Whoa.
not next Tuesday, but next Wednesday. I purposely scheduled my flight for Wednesday so we can podcast here at the regular time, regular place.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's it. And then that's all for now.
Okay. All right. I am going to be right here podcasting away. I
Good.
talked about this week the show on Netflix called 20 Somethings Austin.
Okay.
It's basically the Netflix's crack at the real world.
Okay, cool. And how are they executing?
It's okay. It's some young people, a lot of hooking up, Danny.
Yeah, Danny
Why did you
loves
say
that,
my
dude.
name?
Dude, you know how
to
Danny
hook it up,
is.
Danny.
Yeah.
Rob,
We
I
know.
did try to watch Selling Sunset, which I think you mentioned last
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
I couldn't.
What'd you think?
Oh my gosh. I didn't know people like that existed.
Did
Yeah.
you watch? No, they're characters of a TV show. Did you watch The Alpinist?
No, I don't like
Alpinist.
I don't like watching movies that cover what I do. Not that he does he does way more awesome stuff.
Oh my goodness, dude, so much more awesome. Like I watched Mediocre Amateur, and then I watched that just to compare.
Yeah, because he's top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
He's from what I know, but I don't typically watch stuff like that because it makes me anxious.
It does.
Yeah.
Free climbing.
No, just like I wish I could go do that type of stuff.
Why can't you?
Oh, lots of reasons. I can't do what he does. One, because I don't have the skill level. Two, because I have kids and a wife.
Mhm.
Like I can't actively seek death by climbing that
like
way.
those guys are. Okay.
Mhm.
Just curious.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
And then next week we'll be back. We'll keep you posted on if it's not going to be at the regular time, and keep us posted if you see News AF happening. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.